What's up, Vankers?
Hello, Vankers.
Oh, we're getting closer. We're getting closer to Austin. F1 again, baby. F1.
Yeah, baby. It's time for the real race. It's time for the real shit to bring these rooms back to the States. The stakes have never been higher. Yes. And it's a sprint weekend, Matt. It's a sprint weekend.
Oh, my God. We're going to be busy boys in Austin. We're going to be busy boys.
Oh, yeah. So it's Sunday now. We're flying in on Tuesday. We're going to be there all week, including Sunday night, where we are doing a live show. If you have not bought your tickets, what's wrong with you? Buy your tickets. The link is in the description. Vulcan Gas Company, 9 p.m., Sunday night. Doors at 8. Come hang out with your favorite Vankas. We've already outsold our show last year, but we're trying to sell this place out. So buy your tickets.
That's right.
Of course, this is the Red Flags brought to you by BetMGM. It's an off week. We tried to get a guest, couldn't get one, so it's just us.
Brian, you fucking stole the words right out of my mouth. This week in F1 is basically should also be known as we couldn't get a guest. Everybody passed. Yeah. We just call it the everybody passed with every guest passed.
You get Susie Wolf on, you think they're going to come crawling, and guess what? They're hard to get a hold of.
Apparently, we don't have the same pull without Gunther Steiner. It's weird. It's kind of weird, Brian.
He randomly helps. I was at a friend's. When I go to an event, if I go to something like friend's birthday party, I don't know people.
Yeah.
I'm always like, at what point do I pull the card of like, if I'm among a group of guys, I'm like, am I pulling? I have a podcast about Formula One, and sometimes I'm like, all right, there's nothing to talk about here, so I will do that. So we'll chat, and like, sometimes you'll weed it out because someone's like, I don't know anything about that, or they'll ask. And this one guy was like, I love F1, and then he was like, he's like, who my favorite is? He's like, Gunther Steiner. And I was like,
well, he can't be his favorite if he doesn't know about his podcast he does every week.
Dude, Gunter's cheating on us, dude.
That's
dude.
That's true.
Gunter's out here cheating on us in broad daylight. I feel like I'm on Love Is Blind, dude. And I'm going through his phone. He's on every podcast under the sun. We love that. Yeah. We love that he's getting his. But Gunter, no, we miss you, baby.
Yeah, that it's devastating. Right. It's devastating.
It's devastating.
I mean,
it's devastating.
It's weird because saying you have a podcast in a group of people is actually, as in LA and New York, is pretty much the lamest thing you can do.
It's horrible
because everybody has a podcast.
Yes,
because when you tell people you have a podcast, they're all like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, no, but like. I'm not like the other girls.
Well, you say you have a podcast, you've watched people's faces sink, and then you say it's about Formula One. They go, "Oh, that's interesting. That's cool. That's different, I guess."
Yeah, someone stopped me in the gym that I was in today, and she said, "Yuki Tsunoda, that's an interesting choice for a driver to rep." And I was like, "I'll kill you."
Yeah.
She's like, "Why Yuki?" I was like, it's the only good choice. It's the only good choice.
Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda. You mean the guy who,
You mean the face of F1 in my eyes?
The face of F1, future
I was like,
Red
who
Bull
are you,
driver?
Christian Horner?
Yeah. Dude, okay, let's start here.
Yeah.
Liam Lawson's back in the chair.
Yeah.
There's talk. Liam. He's got these races. He's not signed on for 2025 yet. He's got these races to kind of prove his worth. And basically the implication is like, are you good enough to be in this Red Bull seat?
It's another classic example. It's like, Liam, you come in, you beat Yuki Tsunoda, you could get the Red Bull seat. But if Yuki beats you, nothing happens.
Dude, he is always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And I'm just trying to wife him up, dude. I'm just trying to. What more does
they keep throwing the bouquet? Yuki keeps catching it, and they be like, "Let's throw it again. Let's get some new people here, and we'll throw it again." because
Well,
the wrong guy keeps catching the bouquet.
Like, if Yuki, listen, Austin is probably going to be, Liam's taking like an engine penalty. He's coming and he's starting from the back. But, there's going to be 5 more races. If
Liam's taking an engine penalty?
Yeah.
You don't get to, when you respawn, you don't get new everything.
He's inheriting. It's like
Daniel's dad.
It's like when you're a pitcher in baseball and you leave the bases loaded and they take you out, and then the guy who replaces you gives up a home run. Those go against the guy who.
No, I don't know. That's not true.
I think it is true.
If it's bases loaded and I come in for you and I give up a grand slam, those 3 runs are on your ERA. I'm pretty sure.
The new pitcher.
No. You're the
old pitcher.
I'm pretty sure. Now fuck this.
This is the opposite. No, that's what I was trying to say.
It's the opposite.
I guess that's the opposite of what is happening for Liam. Is that he's paying for Daniel's shit.
Excuse me. 3 runs will go on yours, but I will get the 4th run.
Yes. Baseball. Dude, might be a Subway Series. Might be Mets Yankees.
Who gives a shit? There's literally the next Babe Ruth in the game right now, and nobody cares. Yeah. Well, people in baseball care, but he's not like
people in baseball care.
It hasn't gone mainstream. Like, McGuire Sosa like really felt like it went mainstream,
right?
Back in those days. Anyway.
Yeah. Wait, so back to Liam.
Liam's going to Coda. He's got his first race. He's following in the dirty air of this turbulent Daniel Ricciardo firing, and it's really quite sad.
Yeah,
that that there is some sort of that he's getting some of this turbulent air.
Right.
Like, there should be nothing but goodwill towards him. Like, all the happiness and excitement for Colapinto and Ollie Behrman and all these guys, like, it should be equal for him. Like, people should be able to compartmentalize their sadness about Daniel and excitement about him. They're not mutually exclusive.
You don't hate the player. You don't hate the player. You hate the game. He shouldn't get any ire.
But it's feeling like there is that sort of like, ooh, like, let's not, like, even when we post, like, when we were excited about Liam and we wanted to post like clips about him, and there was like a vibe like, oh, you can't be too happy for Liam,
right? Because
we have to mourn you got to mourn Daniel.
Well, it's also tough because this first round was Daniel's second home race, was the vibe. It's tough going into that. It's like, and it's Austin, where he always rocks the facial hair and he rides it on the horse. It's like,
right.
I think it would be a little different if this next round was in Brazil, or this next round was in, I think there's an added like, ugh, you did it before Austin. He's gone before Austin.
That's true, but they would have found a way. Those people would. I mean, did Oscar replace Daniel before Austin? No. But they found a way.
Where there's a will, there's obviously a way. Is there any world? I know we've said it before. Is there any world where Yuki Tsunoda can just be given a shot in the Red Bull seat?
I think if he thumps Liam, if it's embarrassing, if it's oh my God, what you should be embarrassed. And, Checo shits the bed. I think there's a chance. The helmet said something that it was an option.
What I'm saying, it's kind of interesting that Yuki is more like helmet's more on the Yuki train than Christian is, because Yuki's so good for the marketing side of things, which is where it feels like Christian's head is more at.
He is and he isn't, because Yuki represents a part are no longer in.
Right.
So Christian's all about partnerships and branding and sort of that side of things, and Helmut's all about his fucking like bringing up the driver academy. That's his baby.
Yeah.
So Christian's looking at the brand, what Checo does for the branding side, for the money side. And Yuki used to be sort of used to check all the boxes because that Honda relationship was vital. I mean,
right.
If you look into the history of all these customer teams, like your relationship with your engine supplier is so fucking important. I mean, they were nowhere when they had the Renault engine. The Honda power unit was the reason they became competitive. So to keep Honda happy, Yuki is totally worth it, but he's less worth it now because Red Bull's going their own way. I think that they still have Yuki because he's a good driver. He is marketable, and Honda is still, I think, helping them with that sort of transition. Yeah. But he doesn't represent maximum value.
Well, he's got so much more than Honda. Don't put him in the Honda box. He's got so much more to offer.
I'm not putting him in the Honda box. Okay.
I know. That's what they're doing.
That's what Christian's putting him in the Honda box.
Take him out the Honda box, put him in the Red Bull seat, and just see what the vibe is.
Yeah, I'm so curious to know how decisions are made at Red Bull, because it seems like Helmut wants one thing, Christian wants another thing. Daniel being out and Liam being in seems like a win for Christian. I'm sorry, a win for Helmut. Right. Liam moving up or Yuki moving up seems like it would be another win for Helmut. Can we look at these driver advancements as wins in some sort of proxy war between them? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe Christian's like, fuck it. Maybe Helmut is right. But I'll do it when I'm ready. Maybe Christian still has the power. And he's like, I don't want to do it when Helmut wants to. I'll do it when I want to. Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but these are interesting things to think about. Cause Daniel's a Christian guy and Checo's a Christian guy. Right. And, so yeah, I think if Helmut had his way, either Yuki or Liam would be in there next year.
Now, let's say the other option, the other kind of thing in there is Hadjar, right? That's kind of the third potential option going into next year if they're not thrilled with Liam. If within their sample size, they're not like, okay, we're going to keep Checo, keeping Yuki, obviously, but maybe they throw Hadjar in that second RB seat.
I don't think Well, I think the knock on Hadjar is similar to the knock on Yuki, which is that he's a bit hot-headed. So, I don't know. Well, so you're saying in the Red Bull seat?
No. I think they keep Checo. There's just a world where after they might... Liam's not signed on for next year.
Yeah, Yuki's signed on. So
Yuki's signed on.
Yeah.
But they might, if they're not thrilled with Liam over these next 6 races...
I think if I was a betting man, I bet you, assuming Liam doesn't completely do a Nick DeVries, assuming that doesn't happen, which I doubt it will, I think that guy makes. I mean, there's speculations about how people don't know how high his ceiling is, but I think that guy makes love to pressure.
Yeah,
and his floor is relatively high.
Yeah,
I think we've seen that his floor is fucking high as shit. Right, his ceiling is another question. I think that guy makes love to pressure. I think they'll give him another year at the very least at Visa Cash App, and then Hadjar will be a reserve, just like Liam. I mean, those guys do not hesitate to throw a driver on the bench. I mean, look at Liam, or put him in Super Formula.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes they go to Super Formula and you forget about him. Remember Iwasa?
Yeah. I know.
He had a pretty good finish to Formula 2, and they were like, he just didn't line up. He just had bad luck with he was coming up right during that ultimate logjam of Nick DeVries really fucked everything up. Nick DeVries was the first cork, and then they were like, okay, now Daniel Ricciardo's second cork, and it caused this it's like the one person with the really complicated order at the
Yeah.
I remember, I've been at 7-Elevens where someone is like, I'm trying to get like food and a drink, and someone's like asking for 9 different lotto tickets, and I want to. I'm like, I can't believe I'm waiting for this person to like gamble.
Yeah.
Like I'm here to get a food, like a sandwich and a Gatorade, and this person's like, no, I want the pick 6. I want and no, not that one. I want the other one. I want 3 of those, 2 of those, and I want those. And I'm like, and I want to die. I'm like, this is not important what you're buying. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is such a long shot. This is what you're doing is such a long shot. It's such a shoot the moon.
Yeah. It was DeVries just got. It's so interesting because we talk about these junior programs and where the loyalties lie, and you know they sometimes mean something, and a lot of times they kind of mean nothing.
Nick DeVries was an impulse buy.
A total impulse buy.
It's like, ooh, I'll take a Toblerone. You know, like it's right there. Yet it's just a fucking the thing they put right at the fucking exit of in the little basket, and you're like, oh fuck, these are 25% off.
Or it's like you look at the house and like on the spot, you're like, let's do it. And then you get in there and the floor is actually...
They got like black mold.
Issues. Yes. That was the Nick DeVries situation.
That was the Nick DeVries. Well, then,
and he's what? He's back in Formula E, right?
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I mean, everyone's so excited about Colapinto and no one's like sad for Logan.
Well, yeah.
Although there are a few people like, you know how many TikToks I've gone through that it's like to that Billie Eilish song, "What was I made for?" Like Logan and Oscar edits. They are a lot of
the
Logan.
deep cut Formula 3 edits.
Formula 3 like pictures of like, I used to say now I do.
Yeah.
It's like, well, people are crazy out there.
Yeah, people are in it. The lore goes so hard and strong there. Oh, I saw okay, so apparently there was this Colapinto. Speaking of, lore, Colapinto did this interview. Colapinto was on this television show. I think it was a Spanish television show. The host was Spanish. And he was talking about, like, how is it driving? It's hard. You don't have a seat going into next year. And then Colapinto said, well, that's because of your country, that's because of your Spanish brethren, Carlos Sainz. Tell him to get out of here. and I think I didn't watch this. I don't speak Spanish, but the woman who said is like relaying this information on TikTok. Shout out to Natty on TikTok. She said Carlos Sainz, tell him to stop being annoying and get out of here so I can drive there next year. It was probably,
tell that Spaniard to stop colonizing my seat.
Yeah, roots go deep.
Yeah.
He also said in this interview apparently that when he was a kid, he used to shower with his race suit on.
Why?
And that's how he would clean his race suit. By like showering in it, he would like soap the race suit with his sweaty race suit.
Big Tobias Funke vibes. Big never nude. Never nude.
Big
vibe.
never nude energy. No, he's really he has really captured something. There's something. He's so raw. He's so like.
It's Moo Deng, dude. It's just like. That's
dude,
why. I mean,
he's
it's like
the Moo Deng of F1.
I mean, it's like him, it's Yuki, it's Charles. It's like these guys who just kind of just exist and are unbothered. Yes. And they're just like these uncut gems. I mean, people love Moo Deng because Moo Deng is adorable, but Moo Deng is also fierce.
Yeah.
And is unselfconscious. Moo Deng is cute, but he's just out here. She's just out here biting people.
For sure.
Yeah.
Much like Franco Colapinto.
Franco Colapinto is the Moo Deng of F1 right now.
Totally. Everyone is in love. They can't get enough of the kid. And yeah, he'll bite you on turn one.
He'll send it on his teammate. He doesn't give a fuck. He's fucking Moo Deng.
He'll say something like totally out of pocket, but then he like is charming and sweet and you just like it.
I was going through TikTok today and Moo Deng was like just desperately trying to bite the zookeeper's dick off. It was, and the zookeeper was just like batting it away. It was going right for his dick. It was like, ah, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, dude. And if he's Moo Deng, then what's the penguin that everyone's obsessed with?
Who's Pesto?
Pesto. You know who Pesto is?
Yeah, he's the giant baby penguin.
Oscar Piastri's Pesto. Because Pesto just kind of like, Moo Deng's like running all over the place, and Pesto's just like, what?
Dwarfing the adults, dwarfing Lando Norris.
Yeah, totally. Lando's one of
Lando
like,
Norris is like, you're a baby? Huh?
Yeah. Lando's like the penguin that like is in that it's got like the kind of yellow faux hawk that's like rides on the surfboard and is like Shia LaBeouf in that movie. That's Lando riding waves, and then all of a sudden Pesto is just walking in completely unbothered to ruin his fucking life.
Fucking love that.
Bankers, as you know, we have teamed up with BetMGM this season, and we are using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks. And if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code DADDY and you will get up to $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app and you sign up using the bonus code DADDY, cause we're fun. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. You'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure that you use the bonus code DADDY when you sign up. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code DADDY and get your first $1,500 first bet offer today. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and over. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Indiana. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code DADDY and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. Now back to the show.
Yeah, it's the Moo Deng effect.
It's the Moo Deng effect. It is the Moo Deng effect. Yeah, who else is Moo Deng? Yuki's Moo Deng.
Yuki Tsunoda's Moo Deng. Charles Leclerc's a bit Moo Deng.
Charles is Moo Deng. Pierre is kind of Moo Deng.
He's a little too hard. Mm-hmm. He's got this like hard persona.
Yes.
Like he tries to be a little too cool.
George Russell's maybe a little bit.
George Russell is his own animal.
That's true.
George Russell tries too hard to be. He tries very hard.
Yeah.
Nah, I think the Moo Dengs are Leclerc. They're the precious baby angels. Leclerc, Yuki, Franco.
Maybe a little bit Albon.
A little bit Albon has a little Moo Deng energy.
Yeah.
A little unbothered. I mean, Albon in interviews, it's like, whoa, why do you keep talking? Like, he did this interview with James Vowles. Honestly, James Vowles was pretty chaotic. James Vowles is a little Moo Deng-ish sometimes. It's like, dude, what are you saying? You're just completely. He comes across as he like says things in a very polished, articulate way, but it's like he's like Carlos Sainz and I were flirting with each other. It's like, that's a chaotic thing to say. He says it in a very officious manner. But you read the transcript, you're like, that's an insane thing to say. But he did this thing with James Vowles, where it's Never Have I Ever.
Okay.
They were playing Never Have I Ever, and what was really funny was James Vowles was explaining Never Have I Ever to Alex Albon. He's like, okay, so we're going to play this game. It's called Never Have I Ever. And you're going to be given a choice of like 2 options. And you're going to have to choose which one you'd rather not do. And Alex Albon's like, okay, I got it. Like, I know what Never Have I Ever is. And the first one, and Alex Albon picks the first one.
Wait, but that's not Never Have it. Was it
oh,
Never
sorry.
Have I Ever?
Sorry. Fuck. It's Would You Rather.
Would you rather? Would
you rather?
Yeah. Sure.
And then Alex Albon picks the first one. And he goes, would you rather show everyone your search history? And Vowles just goes, the other one. I'd rather do the other one. Immediately. Didn't even care what the other one was. He just went, Whatever the other one is, I'll do the other one. Or he goes, or no team radio for the whole race.
Yeah.
And Val's was like, I don't give a fuck about team radio. I don't need to talk to you. Like, no team radio. And Alex Albon was like, me too. No one needs to see that. You know, they're both kind of chaotic.
Yeah, maybe it's interesting. I think Val's tries so hard to like portray this persona of like Terminator.
It's a bit George Russell, honestly.
But the reality of him is much more, you know, there's a kind of little freak in there.
He's actually low key a loose cannon.
Right.
Like,
that's kind of, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Mick Schumacher isn't special, you know? Like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Dude, he went to Oxford. The guy went to Oxford. He's like data driven, but he's like me. He sticks his foot in his mouth.
Well, it's also like he's been in the wings for so long. You know, it's like he's been in this game for a very long time. Now, all of a sudden, like he's got the mic. Now people interview him. He's at the press conferences. So he's probably like kind of pent up. Been kind of opinionated probably the whole time and never been able to really voice it.
Yeah, it's interesting, but it's like, you know what's interesting? It's like I was watching Tom Brady do an interview, and he was talking about how, like people were, I mean, I don't know. Apparently he's been kind of sucking at commentating. I don't know if he's gotten better, but I remember he got trashed this first week. But people were talking about, like, Bill Belichick might do media or whatever, and they're like, oh, will Bill Belichick even be good at media? Like, he'll probably suck at media. He never talked to the media. He was like, yeah, because he wasn't paid to talk to the media. He was paid to coach. He was like, you pay him to talk to you, he'll talk to you. He goes, and he said he didn't want any of us talking to the media because he didn't want us giving anything away. He goes, you know what? He goes, when I went to play the Jets, you know what I would do? I would just print out all the news clippings of I would print out all New York media. Because you want to know why? Because they would tell me what they were planning on doing next week. It's like,
right.
Bill Belichick's like, why the fuck would we ever talk to the media? It's just never a good idea. And it's like, I get it gives us something to talk about.
Right.
But why the fuck would you give them it? Why the fuck would you give us anything?
No, it's an interesting thing. I remember I was like having, you know, when there have been athletes that have kind of pushed back on this of like, I don't want the media stuff. It's too much.
Yeah.
You know, there's discussion around that. I think especially with regards to like athletes' mental health and this kind of thing. Like, how much should the media be in there? I think what's entertaining for fans, it's amazing, and especially F1 specifically, it's amazing. But yeah, like you know, the baseball playoffs are on right now. Like in between innings, there's a reporter talking to the manager. Like, all right, what are you hoping for the last 3 innings of this thing? It's like, on top of trying to win the World Series, I have to go do 5 minutes with Bob Costas. Like, what the fuck is that? What's so crazy about Formula One is that, like, minutes before the race starts, Martin Brundle's like scurrying up to them and like asking them like questions.
Yeah, I get why the media does it. I get why F1 wants it. It's great for us. But like, if I'm a driver, I'm like Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich was just a son of a bitch.
Yes. Right.
At the half, he's like, he literally gave if you could not ask Greg Popovich a monosyllabic question, like if he could give a yes or a no, he would give yes or no.
It. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's my hat's off to him, but it's just like, dude, like, just do less. Nobody, but he likes to suck his own dick. I mean, he just won't stop sucking his own dick about Carlos Sainz.
Right. I mean, he pulled that off. No, we didn't think that he was going to. Gunter didn't think that he was going to. Apparently, Gunter said on one of these, when he was cheating on us with these other pods, he said that James Vowles kicked him out of the team principal group chat, which is very George Russell. We said he's George Russell. It's the George Russell behavior.
That would have been a great thing. So he has hours. He's been on this show hours, and he still has fucking nuggets to give fucking Sky Sports. What the fuck? I'm gonna have a fucking word with him. What?
He joked about Jenny's trying to say he joked about it.
I don't give a fuck.
That it's not a fact. I'm like, joke about it with us, babe. Speaking of Haas, it is some big news here. Toyota.
Is it big news? Is it big news?
I think it's not big news. It's a big signing.
So they partnered with who again?
Toyota. Yeah,
Toyota.
Toyota. Don't you have a Toyota?
I have a Camry.
Oh, you.
I don't know.
Toyota
I don't know
Camry.
anything. I don't know anything about this Toyota.
I have a Camry. I don't know what comes before that, but that's what I got.
Yeah, I have a Camry. It definitely is not reliable, and definitely hasn't survived 3 fucking apocalyptic events. But on the road, I don't know much about this Toyota. Tell me, do they make a lot of cars? Are they famous for reliability and performance and affordability? Tell me about them, Brian.
It's kind of a perfect Haas, partnership here because they're the cheapest cars on the road and they don't break down, which is kind of what you need if you're the Haas MoneyGram F1 team. They're going to be the technical partners with Toyota Gazoo Racing. Under the new multi-year agreement, both parties will share expertise and knowledge as well as resources, with Toyota Gazoo Racing providing design, technical, and manufacturing services, while MoneyGram Haas F1 will offer technical expertise and commercial benefits in return. Now they're still getting their engines from Ferrari. Yeah. That's staying around. But now they have a new partner in here who's going to help with some of this other shit. It's interesting, man. I don't know. I mean, I hate it.
I think it's a terrible move. I don't know who these Toyota guys are.
For sure.
Never heard of Toyota Gazoo.
I've never heard of that. Yeah,
who even knows if this could be some off-brand ripoff?
That's
Toyota.
Right.
Toyota. Anyway, no. In all seriousness, look, I got no vested interest in this not succeeding. I'm not rooting against Haas or anything. Not at all. I mean, my objective opinion, I think this is a stupid partnership.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think Haas could benefit from being aligned with a massive car maker at all. But I will say this. Right now, they've got an office in North Carolina, right? They got an office in England. They get their chassis made in Dallara, which I believe is in Italy. They have they get their engines made in Ferrari. Now they're going to have people they're talking to in Japan, and the office, like the Toyota Gazoo facility, is in Cologne, which is in France. So like they're so fucking the Stark children with how their setup is. They're fucking to the wind. They're a diaspora, honestly.
They're this podcast.
They're this podcast, exactly. And
you're in LA, I'm in New York, Jenny's in DC.
Just 3 Jews in a diaspora. But
that's right. Because not only does Cash App sponsor our favorite perfectly branded Formula One team, but they also make it easier for you to save money so you can do the things you love, like going to an F1 race. Listen, to be honest, we thought that Cash App was just a way to send people money. Hey, Cash App me for that. But it's a way faster and simpler way to bank. You can start saving with as little as $1, no hidden fees, no minimum balance requirements, no account fees. And we all know that overdraft fees make no sense. Why are you charging someone if they don't have any money? Plus, when you deposit $300 or more in paychecks, you can get up to $50 in free overdraft coverage. It pays to get paid on Cash App, so go download the app today. What are you doing? Now back to the show.
I think that it could be interesting, right? That they're spread even thinner. I think obviously Toyota can offer them resources to. I think this Cologne facility has been touted as being quite sophisticated. Can provide them. I mean, anything that's not the Haas facility is going to be, just by dint of it not being Haas, it's probably more sophisticated. Any other facility is going to be an upgrade. I definitely think Toyota probably has a greater potential than Dallara, and I think that's what they're right now. I think currently, from my understanding, is they're going to be swapping engineers. They're going to be getting some use of the Toyota facility, and maybe they're going to use some of their drivers, like create like a Toyota driver program, maybe expand that. But maybe, just maybe, they might edge out over the long run. They might first start edging out Dallara for making their chassis. And then maybe in 2028, when the Ferrari deal comes up, maybe they'll make their engine. But I don't know. The Japanese have been notoriously fickle, right? They're in Toyota and Honda. They're notoriously, they go in, they jump out, they leap in, they get out. And when they do take over F1 teams, it's never been successful because of the way F1's like a very fast moving business, and Japanese businesses are bureaucratic.
Right.
It's been my understanding. It's kind of like the Alpine situation on crack. Like a lot of corporate meddling. I've read, whatever. So, but that's could be where it's going, which is like a Toyota maybe is like, it's a soft launch to a Toyota takeover.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could help. It could help. It could lead to a sale. It could lead to an engine supplier. I know that Zach Brown has been talking to them that maybe that would be a long play for McLaren too, to maybe get engines from them. But who knows? I mean, look at they're boom or bust, these Japanese companies. I mean, look at McLaren with Honda. That was a fucking huge bust. And then look at Red Bull with Honda. That was a huge success. But then they're now fucking leaving and now coming back. I mean, it's really their they always keep guessing.
They did. I mean, Honda certainly left at a very strange time.
Toyota too. They got in.
Yeah.
With Braun, and then they completely pulled out right before they got, and then Braun won a championship basically with their fucking car.
No. Was that Toyota?
I think it was Toyota.
No, I think it was Honda.
I mean, and yeah, they pulled out of the Braun thing right before that.
Yeah, Braun bought that team from Honda for £1.
Yeah. So it's been.
Yeah, I wonder if now there's a, but even now, but I wonder if now that it's becoming more popular, that there is more of a chance for, even if you're not killing it, for it to be a better business venture than it used to be. It's like.
Then why did Honda pull out of Red Bull?
Yeah, I mean that's.
And then buy back into Aston Martin.
Right.
I mean, it's like the do-si-do of that behavior.
What is Toyota's F1 history?
It's been chaotic. I remember they had a team. They've manufactured engines, for sure.
Yeah.
Before, but when they had a proper team.
Yeah, 2002. The Toyota, Panasonic Toyota Racing was a Formula One team owned by the Japanese automobile manufacturer. They announced their plans to join Formula One in 1999. The team made their debut in 2002. They had 140 races entered. 0 wins, 13 podiums. Their last, so 2002 to 2009, Toyota had a team.
Yeah, I mean, that's a disaster. 0 wins as Toyota.
Yeah.
I mean, they're one of the biggest, let me type in, biggest car manufacturers in the world.
Yeah, they might be.
They're up there. Biggest.
They might be.
Toyota is number 1. Volkswagen Group is number 2. Hyundai is number 3. Stellantis. What the fuck is a Stellantis? Is number 4. I've heard of it, but I don't know if I've ever. Is it one of those little ones? What is a Stellantis?
I don't know. Yes, I mean, the biggest car manufacturer in the world is now working with Haas. That's crazy. That's crazy.
But I want to say this. For all the people just love to just piss on Gunther's grave.
Yeah.
They're like, when this anytime Haas does anything impressive, everyone's like, Gunther sucked.
Yeah.
Gunther sucked. It's like, do you understand that there would be no Haas if it wasn't for Gunther? They're like,
100%.
this Haas Toyota partnership really makes Gunther look stupid. I'm like, what about the Haas Dallara Ferrari? That was all him. Like Claire Williams was like, we cannot compete as an independent team. We just can't do it anymore. We have to sell. So so right around she sold in 2019.
Yeah.
Around that, like right around the time that Williams was packing it in.
Yes.
Gunther was like, I will start the team independently. You understand? That's crazy. Like as the last, like Williams was like one of the last. Williams was, I don't know where Peter Sauber was at this point in time, but Williams was like the last family-owned team. I mean, you used to have Brabham, Tyrrell, Cooper, fucking Tolman. You used to have all these fucking teams that were owned by like a dude, by a family. Williams was the last of those, and they were like, we can't do it anymore. And Gunther's like, we can do it. Gene, you can do it.
Yeah,
like one guy can own a fucking team. You know, and that's like, totally. I mean, Gene happens to be, but it's just like, you can do it on the cheap. You want to hear something really sad though? Guess how much Claire sold Williams for? Take a guess.
$50 million?
200. Still a fucking steal.
A total steal.
She sold it in 2020. I mean, that team has got to be worth $1 billion now, at least.
Yeah.
She sold it like right before COVID hit. Right before
the rise.
I mean, she was in the first season of Drive to Survive.
Right.
She helped boost the value of the thing that she sold.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy. It's a really her story is brutal.
And her brother hates her. They don't talk. Like if you watch that, like if there's like she's like Shiv and he's Kendall, and they don't get on. If you watch the Williams documentary, it's fucking nuts.
We got to get her on the pod.
I mean, one of the I mean, I won't say anything, but
yeah. What are you gonna say?
No, I mean, I think we've tried. You and I are talking today, so it hasn't worked out.
Oh, yeah, to get her on. We'll get her. We'll get her on eventually.
Yeah, with Gunther, probably.
Yeah. Let's see. What else is happening in the news? Oh, speaking of loose we were talking about loose cannons earlier. Ultimate loose cannon, Otmar Safnauer.
Ooh, I was like, are we going Otmar or are we going MBS? Who are we going? But let's go Otmar first. Let's go for Otmar first.
On the High Performance Podcast and was just out here.
Uncle Rico.
Out here, like, talking about, like, his ex-girlfriend on a podcast. Like, I mean, he was out here being like, I'll show you the texts. Like, they've been saying shit about me and it's not fucking true.
She didn't tip.
Vankas, this episode is brought to you by Ricky Canned Cocktails. It's a premium spirit-based drink, 7% alcohol in a can, 1.5 shots per can. It's the perfect drink for this summer because it has been hot. And when it's hot, you need something refreshing. And that's why I've been drinking a bunch of the Ricky Canned Cocktails. I've been loving the vodka with a splash of black cherry. I'm not usually a big vodka guy, but this one, it just tastes right. Also, if you like more tequila, they also have a tequila with a splash of lime. Super good, super refreshing, and at 7%, it's that perfect sweet spot where you're not going to get too buzzed, but you don't have to drink a bunch of them to feel anything. So that's why you gotta get some Ricky this summer. And you can check them out at rickyspirits.com. And if Ricky isn't available in your area, hit request Ricky. It's 3 simple ingredients, low calorie, no added sugar, not overly carbonated. It's an award-winning vodka tequila. You can taste the high quality in spirits with a splash of fruit and sparkling water. Go get Ricky today. It's like High Noon, but better, less sweet, and more alcohol per can. Yeah, he claimed he washed his hands of any Oscar Piastri wrongdoing. He said,
"Well, Watched his interview of every Oscar Piastri doing. Said he paid the Force India salaries, and said that Alpine.
But he said that he paid the Force India salaries, and then he was like, but I didn't do it for the attention. No, actually, no one knows about it. No one.
I am anonymous. I am anonymous. Ted Danson, right?
Just did it out of the goodness of my own heart. Yeah,
Well, look, he probably didn't do it for the attention, but now that he's unemployed,
right?
Now he needs it. I mean, he lurks the paddock. We saw him. Like, he's looking for a job. Starting with his apps. Now, let's do this. Let's do this point by point. So the Oscar Piastri situation. He was like, not my fault. Wasn't my fault. He was giving that, like, when you date someone, they're like, well, my ex-boyfriend used to do this shit all the time. And it was really, I'm like, I'm not him. Okay. It had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I'm a new guy.
Yes.
I should be able.
Stop projecting
his behavior onto me. He was like, that was 3 boyfriends ago. I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Oscar who? Who? Now, look, it is true that Oscar Piastri was part of the Alpine program before him. And probably because he's not a lawyer, did not handle that contract. And he wasn't there. So I definitely believe that he didn't have anything to do with that.
Well, I believe all of that. I believe that, there's certain things that are, all this stuff was done before Otmar was folded into Alpine. But the botching of the announcement and all of this, like, that was under his watch.
saying he had no integrity.
Yes.
They said he had no integrity and that he's a fucking liar and a scumbag. And then it went to like a court of law. And it was like, actually, he didn't do anything wrong. So fuck off.
Yes.
So he did slander him.
100%.
And he announced him as a driver, knowing that he wasn't his driver. So like, those are all the things that he did.
Totally.
So like, yes,
technically,
it's like it's like what people say. Technically, Kennedy sent the first troops into Vietnam. It's like, okay, but
right.
Johnson escalated it. Then Nixon went into Cambodia. Yeah. You can't just point to Kennedy or Eisenhower, who sent the military advisors, and blame them for everything. You just can't. Yeah, that's what he was doing. He's like, well, Dwight Eisenhower, he's the real bastard here. It's like, no. You escalated. You were napalming Cambodia, dude. That was you. So, but so it's very fucking misleading what he was saying.
Right.
And look, I have no vested interest in Oscar Piastri either. Look, I'm coming at this completely objectively.
Well, I think, but
even Oscar's mom, DM Jenny, was like, yo, he didn't have to glaze him so hard. It's fine.
But even it's like, regardless of the Nicole of it all, just looking at that situation for Amar to just be on this pod being like, bro, it's like, I didn't do anything. Like, anytime someone says I didn't do anything wrong, like, I've done nothing. Dude, I'm watching Love Is Blind right now, and there is a masculine urge to paint things as if you have never done anything wrong. There's just a desire. I'm watching all these guys be like, I've got no baggage. I'm awesome. I'm perfect. And then it's like, you're a chronic cheater. You have 3 kids that you didn't tell your partner about. You are in a ton of debt. You would never marry someone who's in the military, and you're with a woman who was in the military. Like, there's this kind of, I think, even more, it's like there's a hero. Like I think humans do this, but I think there's a male urge to want to just like portray yourself as a hero. And I think that's what he was doing in this interview, was like, I'm a fucking hero, actually. And maybe thought I was a villain for the situation. Actually, I wasn't. I had nothing to do with that. And guess what? I paid the entire team salary. I'm a fucking hero.
Okay, so I don't know. So there's like, okay, so I just watched The Apprentice with
the
Trump movie.
Yeah,
it was interesting. I mean,
yeah.
Sebastian Stan and Jeremy Strong fucking like crushed it.
Kill it. Yeah,
they kill it. And it's but Roy Cohn,
yes,
has 3 rules for winning.
Okay.
That he tells young Trump, impressionable Trump. He goes, it's like, attack, attack, attack. Admit nothing, deny everything, always claim victory. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that's a playbook I think we've learned that works in politics and in creating your own sort of narrative. But I mean, in everyday life, to never admit that you've done anything wrong is kind of grating, for sure, and toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, he didn't do anything wrong. Nothing. Now, I do think, by the way, I do think Alpine is a fucking mess. I don't think
totally
he's wrong. But to
For
say
sure.
he didn't do anything wrong in the Oscar situation is nuts. Now, Alpine's a fucking mess. I learned an interesting fact, Brian.
Yeah.
You know, they're always like, they always like to say it's like a nice, fun fact. It's a fun fact. They say, the French people, they own Alpine. It's the French government that owns Alpine.
Yes.
The French government own Alpine. Isn't that, it's actually owned by the French people. It's a French company owned by the French people. Like, the French people have a stake in they say that all the time, like it's a fun fact. You know why the French people own Alpine?
Why?
Renault, Brian? It's because they fucking, the government nationalized the Renault. They took it from Louis Renault, the guy who owned it. So basically, Louis Renault was like the Henry Ford of his country. He had 3 brothers. 2 of them died kind of young and tragically, and he was the one left. And he was like kind of a bastard. He was not a nice guy. And World War II happened. And basically all of the French, there was other Henry Fords, kind of like other automakers. There was like Citroën, Peugeot, they all basically, when the Nazis broke through into France, they gave all these guys a choice. They gave all these industrialists a choice. You could start making shit for us, or we'll just take all your equipment, everything, and just move it to Germany and make it there. So they all just kind of made, not a great choice, but they're all capitalists, right? They're all like, well, I can either make tanks for the Nazis and keep my shit, or they'll take it and make tanks over in Germany and I lose my shit. So they're like, fuck it. I'll make tanks for the Nazis. I have kind of no choice. So they all did that. But because Renault was such an unpopular guy, because he was kind of a bastard and, fired 2,000 strikers, and he was not a nice person. Yeah. They decided to make an example of him, and they arrested him for being a collaborator, a Nazi collaborator, even though he did nothing different than any of these other industrialist fucks. Right. And he rotted in jail for 7 years without a trial, died in jail. Many think he was murdered. And they took his company and they're like, belongs to the French people now. This belongs to the French government. It is an Ayn Randian nightmare. So like when Elon Musk like complains about how bad America is, just look what happened to Louis Renault. It's like, I got to pay higher taxes now. It's like, shut up, dude. They took his factory and they're like, well, the French government makes Renaults now. And they've since sold like 80% of it to independent citizens.
Individuals, yeah.
But the Renault family has like still suing them.
Wow.
Isn't that like he died in fucking prison, this guy. So this whole like, isn't it fun that they're owned by a French people? It's like, it's actually kind of an ugly black mark on on them. I mean, think about all the German manufacturers that like literally sided with the Nazis from day dot. Like they all got to keep their fucking shit.
Yeah.
So talk about something that should have been fucking nationalized. Those Nazi sympathizer fucks. They're some of the richest families in Europe are like the fucking Mercedes-Benz families, the BMW family, whatever. I'm going off on a tangent, but
that's fascinating. I did not know that.
Isn't that crazy? So my point is that the French
they keep firing CEOs and they're just like a mess, and
the French suck and the Alpine situation. The Alpine has been a mess since World War II. It's been a fucking mess. Is my point. It's chaotic as fuck, dude. They murdered a guy in prison, maybe, according to his family. I mean, he died at 67 in prison without a trial, 7 years. Look at me fucking sticking up for the 1%.
Yeah. this rich guy got a raw deal.
No, but he was a great inventor. He invented, like, no cars had gears until him. He was like, what if we put gears in the cars? Like, he didn't invent the car, but he really progressed the car. He was a very successful, he was an inventor. He was a clever guy.
Yeah, they could use
just didn't like organized labor.
For sure.
He's trying to run a business here, you know?
Trying to run a business.
Wow. Yeah, so honestly, like, Alpine just kind of gives me the ick. Doesn't that story kind of give you the ick?
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't be throwing that around. You know, the French people own it. I was like, yeah.
That's a cute fun fact.
That's a cute fun fact. Because they threw a guy in jail, seized his property, and murdered him in prison, maybe, the French people now own.
Isn't that adorable?
It's not like the Green Bay Packers. It's not a fun story. You know, like, you know, the people of Green Bay are like stakeholders in the back. It's like, no, it's not one of those cute stories.
Right. Well, speaking of politics, dude, I guess we got to get Kamala Harris on the pod, dude.
Only if Donald Trump will also come on the pod and we can have balance. We got to ask Kamala about Lewis, and then we got to ask Trump about McLaren and how he is responsible.
We're gonna extend invites to both of them, a la Alex Cooper, invites to both, and we're gonna have them both on. They're trying to reach audiences, and I think that the Red Flags podcast is a perfect place to go. If
I was advising her from just a political standpoint, whereas if she just went out there and said, "I like Yuki Tsunoda," that's a very middle of the road. That's a very centrist. That's centrist.
Yes,
that would be a centrist, uncontroversial pick. Leclerc, centrist, uncontroversial pick.
For sure.
You know? Lewis, divisive pick. I mean, think about it. This is a race of fine margins. I mean, 7 Max fans in Pennsylvania could turn this whole thing. They decide to stay home.
Yeah, but then if she comes out, I'm a Max fan, then you lose.
Max is an equally bad pick.
Right.
You go Leclerc. You go Yuki.
Right.
Maybe even Albon, honestly. Like, just uncontroversial. Who are the politically safest picks?
I'm like Tomo. I'm like Tomo. I love Alex Albon.
Yeah, it's just a safe, unassailable pick.
I think Yuki's right. You know, no one can knock you for the Yuki pick. Who do you think Trump's favorite driver is?
Trump's favorite driver?
Fernando Alonso. Who would it be?
Who would it be if he actually paid attention?
Fernando Alonso. Or Max. Vankas, specifically the male Vankas who listen and watch this pod. When you leave the house, it's phone, wallet, keys, and now, how does my hair look? But if you're experiencing hair loss, you may not be so confident when you step outside the door, and it's time to get that confidence back and restore your hair with Hims. Hims provides you with convenient and quality access to a range of hair loss treatments that work from the comfort of your couch. Hims makes treating hair loss simple with doctor-trusted options and clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can regrow your hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. Choose from your personalized chewable, oral, spray, and serum treatments to find what works best for you. The process is simple and 100% online. There's no uncomfortable doctor visits. You know that it can be a little bit awkward. You just do it online and you get it done. You can start your free online visit today at hims.com/redflags. That's HIMS.com/redflags for your personalized hair loss treatment options. Once again, that's hims.com/redflags. Results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Okay, we'll end here. Anything else before we get to this? Because I want to end with this.
MBS.
Oh, MBS. Yeah, what is this MBS news? That he's claiming British bias? Mohammed bin Salman is claiming that the British media is biased against him. That basically
crooked British media.
The crooked British media. That basically Adrian Newey was saying that the British media is mean to Max, like they were mean to Sebastian Vettel, and then FIA President Mohammed bin Salman said, me too, guys. Yeah. What's up, fellow kids? Just like me, Max, and Sebastian Vettel, they're mean to all of us, right, guys? Right.
All non-British champions.
Yeah.
Three great misunderstood men.
Yeah. And he even went so far as to say, I respect Max because I'm a driver. I was a champion, and I respect winners and champions.
Apparently, he never shuts up about his whatever type of rally championship he has. Yeah. It's not World Rally. It's a specific.
No. Yeah.
I think it's Middle East Rally.
Yeah, Middle East Rally. He's got like many Middle Eastern rally championships. There is this clip of him crashing a Renault F1 car, just starting on a straight.
He's a 14-time FIA Middle East Rally champion, but couldn't fire up an F1 car without fucking Roman Grosjeaning.
Crashed a F1 car just like taking not on a corner, just starting a race.
Just like I think it was a test. It would just be like how I would crash it if I.
It was for like a media event. He was like drag racing against like a BMW, and then he fucking crashed the car. And he's like, "Yeah, me and Max, just a couple of champions." Just a couple of champions here.
It was like when Roman Grosjean, remember when he crashed into the wall during like the warm up?
Yeah, in Baku during the restart.
Squiggling, yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't even doing that. He wasn't even trying to warm up his tires. He just went and then crashed the car, going straight. Yeah, so he's out here trying to claim that's, but it's also like people are shitting on him because he went after Max. So now the British media that hates Max is, so what you're trying to align yourself with Max, but the latest thing is that Max hates you, and everyone's like, "What the hell are you doing to Max?" So none of it adds up. None of it holds water.
He also says they didn't accuse me of anything, but they keep on going. And do I care? No. Why?
That's why I'm talking about it.
That's why I don't care. I'm here to tell everybody that I don't care.
Yes.
But they have no power over me. With due respect to the British media or any other media, they don't have a vote. We are an independent democratic federation. It's the world of membership that elected me. The powers of the General Assembly, not with them. It's a democracy, It's just like, and it's an elite group of people that get together. The elite group of rich people that get together and elected me. So it's a democracy.
Yeah.
That's what a democracy is, right? When just the richest, most powerful cabal of people get together and elect a rich guy. That's a democracy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. All right. Let's talk about this People magazine. Ranked The 15 sexiest F1 drivers.
You know what's crazy? This is going to sound really lame, but I used to have more respect for People magazine. I used to think it was like a fucking. I mean, I know it's like trashy and a tabloid, but you know, I remember when I was a kid, I was like, "Oh, this guy's the sexiest man alive."
Right.
Like it used to carry weight.
Used to mean something.
I used to respect it. You know?
Yeah.
But it's like
this list is crazy.
If you're going to objectify someone, do your fucking research.
Right. This stuff is like easy. This is an easy.
This is a chat. This is one chat GPT.
Right.
Away of just nailing it.
So this is who they've ranked. They've ranked number 1, Lewis Hamilton. Fair.
Fine.
Arguable.
Arguable but fair.
Arguable but fair. Number 2, Charles Leclerc.
Fine.
Totally. Arguable, fair. Number 3, George Russell. Okay, now we have problems. Now this is interesting.
Who wrote
Listen,
this?
we love George. I love George, but of the 20 Formula 1 drivers, is George on the podium of sexiness?
It's I don't know if he cracks the top 10 even.
Is George getting points? I'm not sure. I think on a good day he's getting points.
Yes.
But he's in a Williams with regards to this.
Fernando Alonso is 4, which I like, but they called him tall, dark, and handsome.
Yes.
Which is fucking insane. If you see him in real life, I mean, you just Google his height. Just Google his height.
Yeah.
But you know what? He does loom larger than he is. He's one of those guys.
For sure.
It's like Mike Francesa. You think he's big, but he's not.
Right. No,
but tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah, right.
No, the guy, I saw him on a scooter, and even on the elevated scooter, he was a gremlin. He was a gremlin. He was Smeagol size.
Yes. What would be better is a short king with BDE would be the accurate description of Fernando Alonso. Also, I love Fernando Alonso. 4? That's generous. Okay, then next, 5th, Max Verstappen. You know, to some, I think this is not so crazy, but to most, I think this is crazy. But I think so. You know,
divisive. Some would put him number 1.
If you like, some would put him up there. He works for people. So if he doesn't work for you, that's okay.
Brian,
but he works
for
some.
I feel like the people who think you're hot put him right up there.
100%. And those are the people that are cool and awesome and get it.
And like winners.
And just like vibes. Pierre Gasly in 6th. I think that's kind of okay. Daniel Ricciardo in 7th. So George Russell's ahead of Daniel Ricciardo.
That's kind of criminal, and I feel like those people, whoever wrote this article, thinks I am just a paper bagger, you know? A brown bagger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's Matt. This is Brian. This is seeing Brian and Matt erasure.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
That's right. In 8th, Nico Hulkenberg.
Okay.
I think that's okay. You know, Nico is like, he's sneaky. He's sneaky hot.
Yeah.
But then this is where it gets crazy. 9th and 10th.
Then you forget Carlos Sainz in 9th.
Carlos Sainz in 9th, Lando Norris in 10th.
That is crazy. That is Abu Dhabi 2021. No, Michael,
Insane.
no. Insane.
Insane that he is in 9th. Yeah, Lando in 10th. Yuki in 11th. He didn't get cut from the list. I think that's okay. I think Yuki's trying to, on a good day, break it into the top 10, but I think that's an appropriate place for Yuki.
They put Yuki where he usually finishes.
Exactly. They also put Sergio Perez where he usually finishes.
But look at his face. I mean, it's so perfectly symmetrical.
Totally. He's a handsome kid.
Is he listed as tall, dark, and handsome as well?
That's K-Mag in 13th. I think that's okay. Logan
Sergio
Sargent
is one of those rare people, guys. Better looking in person.
Totally.
Very cute in person. He's got some freckles on him.
Yep. K-Mag in 13th, Logan Sargent in 14th, and Valtteri Bottas in 15th.
Logan Sargent was not in the sport when this came out.
Yeah, this was... I don't know who wrote this. So who was left off the list? Ocon was left off the list. All right, that's okay. Lance Stroll was left off this list.
Anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Daniel Ricciardo was put what number?
A 7th or 8th?
Anti-Semitic.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Alex Albon not on this list. Zhou Guanyu not on this list.
I mean, the fact that Logan Sargent beat out...
Dude, Oscar Piastri not on this list.
I mean, the fact that a guy who's not even on the grid beat out some of these cuties is crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, put some respect on Oscar's
Who should we
face.
re-rank this with?
We should have someone on.
Yeah, re-rank.
We should maybe do a page where we do our own ranking. Maybe we can get someone on and we can do a ranking.
Yeah. Definitely a page.
So subscribe to the Patreon and maybe you'll
subscribe to the Patreon. We've been hemorrhaging. Been working really hard, not been able to do as much content back there as we want, but we will. And
it's coming. And that's the fucking deal. Dude, I think I want to get into e-racing.
You mean, is it e-racing or is it i-racing?
I see. So it's esports, but I want to race in that. I want to rig. Obviously in my tiny New York City apartment, that's tough. But when we eventually move, because this building is being sold and we might have to move at some point relatively soon, and I get a big, and I have true blue man cave. This is my pod room.
Brian, you almost said office, and then you stop yourself because you're like, can I really have an e-rig, a racing incel rig and call it an office? I think once it has a simulator, like a sim incel rig in there,
call it an office.
Can't
and I don't want to have an office. What am I, an old guy? Fucking old guy who works at a job? I don't want an office. I want my studio.
Brian just wants a room where his legs can get jerked off by those robots.
What robots? Oh, these.
You got those robot leg jerkers?
Oh, Jesus. I was like, what are you talking about? Yes, I have poor circulation in my calves, and I have a air pressure leg massager for them. Yes, I do. One of the purchases that I made through the success of this podcast. But I'm trying to get this.
My big purchase is that I don't pirate movies anymore.
Oh, nice.
If it's on Amazon for $3, I just say fuck it. Am I really gonna go on to some horrible website and fucking do my Ethernet, do my cable into the television?
Yeah. Yeah, but I want to practice, and I feel like we need to go to Abu Dhabi this year. I feel like I feel like we got to try to make our way there. And they just opened this huge, Ferrari esport arena there. And I'm like, I want to spend a week. I want to go to Abu Dhabi for the week of the race. And the whole week, I'm learning the Abu Dhabi track. And then I'm putting in times.
You want to beat the track record.
Yes.
Whatever the Yas Marina Island track record is.
Right.
I mean, what a flex to just have a Ferrari world on an island.
We used to talk about the Ferrari, the branding, the stuff, but now we just have a different view of it than we used to.
We just think that I respect the hell out of Ferrari. I respect the hell out of the brand.
Much like there's Disney World, there's Ferrari World. This is a way where, if I got good at this, I could race against Max Verstappen.
It's the only way to his heart,
dude. That's the evil plan, is that I get it's too late for me to be a fucking actual race car driver, and it's too dangerous, and I'm scared. This is a safe way for me to do it. So I think
Yes.
I think in my 5-year plan, there's a 5-year plan of like in 5 years I'm gonna be racing against Max Verstappen.
Where do you see yourself
Team
in
Red
5 years? Racing Max Verstappen online.
Honestly, legendary. What, you want a house? Ugh, lame. Fuck off.
I want a $20,000 rig, and I want to be racing Max online.
I want to send it into cops with Max.
Yes.
You
You want to be on team, you want to be an alternate on Team Redline.
That's right. Those are the true friends. Like that's the real inner circle. Is no one honestly gives Max shit like his teammates on Team Redline.
They're like his high school friends.
They're
like, shut up, bitch.
They really, literally, it's amazing.
He's like the weak link on that team because he doesn't practice.
Other people try to give him shit. We've seen like the Max docs, and like he doesn't really take it. With the Team Redline, he takes it.
Yeah. They shit on him when he's not there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's probably out playing Minecraft, the fucking nerd loser.
All right. Hey, we had a few weeks off. What do you expect from us? Okay, we're heading to Austin. Be there. Be at the show. We'll do a meet and greet at some point. We've done our Austin predictions. What are you thinking though? Going in, you still sold on Ask Pastry?
I think Max might surprise everybody.
Ooh.
I think this upgrade might do something.
Ooh.
Never count out Max Verstappen.
I think that the McLarens are going to split the sprint and win.
But this will be it. I mean, this will be it. We'll if you guys remember, this is Maricopa County. This is when we'll know where it's going, because if Red Bull brought the upgrade, I think it's a wrap. The Red Bull, if the upgrade hits, I think it's a wrap. But if the upgrade is nowhere, then Lando's, it's his to lose.
Dude, it's so cool to be going to a race where like it matters.
We've never gone to a race where it mattered.
Silverstone kind of mattered, but that was also still kind of early days in this way. But like, we're going like this is a race that fucking matters.
Yes, it might be the tipping point of the whole thing.
Yes.
So
it's going to be an amazing show.
You were not in Miami when Lando won his first race. I was.
I had flown back to New York, so I was not present for that.
That's right.
So
I'm a bigger Lando fan than you.
Totally. Toe Wolf. Okay, Venkas, we will see you in Austin. If you have not gotten tickets to the Austin show, cop yours right now. Link is in the description. Okay, Venkas, goodbye.
Goodbye, Venkas.